hello, ex Deus, I guess, and random friends. I'm just gonna do the rundown on this MUT build that I made here. I'm gonna open up the character sheet first, um, and explain it. I guess this is a warlock 16, wizard 3, cleric 1. This is a sun elf. So if you start out as an iconic Sun Elf, you got to do one level of cleric. And interestingly enough, I was almost going to mix this 16-4 cleric, but I decided to boost the undead side um, with the wizard pale master instead along the way. You know, I lately, because I'm just blasting through all these iconic lives, I've just been starting out with an idea and just adjusting as I level it up from 15 to 20. And I've been coming up with some strange combinations. The whole idea for this character was to do the negative warlock. And if I open up the enhancements, whoops, I open up the enhancements tree on top of that, you'll see um, all of my trees that I have open. Now, on this one, I'm heavy into the Soul Eater. It is my 5th tier for the Finger of Death clicky and all the good stuff that's up here. And I put 22 points into the Tainted Scholar over here just to get that spell critical multiplier up again, which I loved so much about Warlock. Didn't really get all the way up here, maybe as far on pack dice as I wanted to. Just for blasting with your hand. And then in the Morning Lord tree, I got an extra. I spent my racial points and probably around 5 extra points in here just to get the Arcanum and Arcane Fluidity. It's another 15% off of your arcane spell failure if you decide to actually wear light or medium armor, which can also get mitigated. You become proficient in the Enlightened Spirit Warlock. I think that this build would make a good burst Warlock. In medium armor, but when I was leveling up, I'm like, screw it. I don't enjoy playing that style, heavy AC and everything. In fact, I should probably get rid of these 3 points in here because I'm still wearing cloth anyway. And I jumped up for this Light of the Sun God, extra light spell power. I didn't get up into the brilliance thing here, which is a sunburst. Because I spent the points over here. I'd rather dump over here, but this is another thing if you want another light damage sunburst, this works good and too hot to handle. Unless they didn't upgrade that one like they did everything else. I don't know. That's something else that we got to talk about for a different topic. And 7 points over here into the Pale Master. Now, I didn't pick my undead form from here. I just went with the standard level 15, you get Channel the Abyss, which instead of adding intel or whatever the bonuses are for the Pale Master forms, you get to pick 4 forms over here out of 4 forms. This one, it looks like it gives you the one for the what would be the vampire. It's giving you +2 charisma and then the negative energy buffs and everything. And it kind of looks like I'm a vampire. The eyes turned red, and it made the vampire sound when I turned this on. Now, this is available at level 15. You can be an undead warlock all on your own. It's not like really being a pale master, but you get it as a feat. And then the pact is the abyss, of course. So it says on there that my Eldritch Blast is dealing negative damage instead of what I don't even know what the other, the other types, fire, acid, cold, whatever. And then, well, I guess that's going to be the rundown on here. Even if you did do this as a spirit blasting warlock, which is cool, you're going to do the light damage and your negative damage on top of it. Okay, if you decide to go that route, but you got to get in close range and burst. Use your Spirit Blast and then the secondary burst Eldritch Blast. This build here is the one that could be a nice tank at the end. Also, if you they get a big competence bonus to their maximum hit points if you do just take a straight burst style warlock. It's got a lot. I mean, there's a lot of potential there to make a burst type of thing out of it, as well as all the good bonuses, for AC and everything else along the way on here. Enlightened Spirit. Okay, the main focus then, or another secondary focus, I guess, was then to get into the Soul Eater and do the chaotic damage boost, which still is boosted by your light damage. I switched over the pact to the Underdark Blast, and it changes your damage instead from your secondary damage from force to evil. So now I have basically nothing is coming out as force damage except for the tentacles, I think. Everett's Black Tentacles, I gotta read it again unless they change something in here, is they're taking 1d4 bludgeon damage per caster level, and an additional 1d4 per caster level if entangled in the web, or in the tentacles. Okay, so bludgeon damage is not the same as evil. That comes off a force damage type right there. That's the only spell besides past life wizard arcane initiate force missiles that I have for that damage type at all on the board. Main reason for taking arcane initiate is I get a +1 to all spell DCs as a feat. We'll go over that in a minute. Okay, inside this Soul Eater tree is some pretty awesome stuff. Consume is doing 2d10 chaotic damage every 2 seconds for the duration of 16 seconds. I mean, it just keeps going. Stricken is like 12d6 chaotic damage and reduces the healing amplification by 120 for 12 seconds. They get a saving throw, though, on the reduction. Then if you boost up Stricken, it reduces the target's melee power, range power, and spell power by 20 if you take it on the, third tier here. And if you boost it up again, they gain a stack of vulnerability. And then that means that they're going to take 1% more damage for 3 seconds. This could stack up to 20 times and loses 1 stack on expiration. So it's probably, you know, you're not going to be able to cast it that fast. But I don't know if that counts then if it's taking it off of the amount of time each time the original stricken hits. Like it's saying here, nope, stricken isn't like that. Consume is like that. Okay, another one in here is the blood feast, and it's another SLA that causes your mob to take 1d8 plus 2 constitution damage, and then you gain that insight bonus to your constitution for 20 seconds. Like you steal their life force. Okay, I did the one for Khan because most of the SLAs and insta kills are for fortitude saves, which means anytime you lower that constitution on something, you're lowering the save for Finger of Death. Might not be by very much. I mean, if I hit for, let's say, 5 points of constitution damage out of this die roll, that means you probably lost 2 off their save for fortitude. If I hit for 10, that means they would lose 5. Potentially. That combat log never shows up on your it never shows up in the log, so you don't really know exactly how much pressure the mob is under or duress, unless you maybe have it highlighted and you can see the effects that are on in your window, which is down here. And you'd have to be extremely quick, to see what exactly is going on. Now, I didn't turn my blast shape into cone again here or anything. I'm not even using that effect. And then the other thing up here is your Eldritch Wave. I mean, I just think that this Soul Eater tree is awesome because everything up here I want. Even Feed on Magic is giving you a 10% chance to gain temporary spell points, plus 1 per warlock level. You know? This, of course, up here, the Supreme Hunger, your consumed damage over time gets increased by 2 by 10. Your stricken damage gets increased by 4 by 6, so it's helping out these 4d6. It's helping out these base attacks down here get boosted up. Feeding Frenzy, when I do consume, means I can run faster. Alright. I mean, in terms of just a variable, like you can do a lot of different builds out of it. Warlock is like right up there. I mean, it's one of my all-time favorites. Just the mixability with it, or if you just want to do a pure straight 20 Warlock, you can make some other awesome things. I mean, all of the final tiers up here are pretty good. Like, more damage for your Eldritch Blast up here, more spell critical damage. I hope that helps explain to get the gist of it. The only reason why I did even any Pale Master in here is just to boost that healing amp and negative energy chance for critical. You are effectively undead when you go into this form, Channel the Abyss. So, you can rely on your death auras. With 3 levels of Wizzy, I get another death aura from the wizard tree. A lesser death aura. I don't have the burst to save myself right away. However, this move, Steal Life Force, on the 4th tier of Soul Eater will heal you for 12d6 negative or positive energy if you are undead. It's kind of like if you're in dire need during the combat, hit this right here. This damage scales with 150% spell power. Okay, the damage and healing scale with 150% spell power. That's like hitting negative energy bursts right there, but you're stealing the life force of the mob to give yourself hit points back. Pretty fun. Super fun. Immortal Will is just giving you DCs to Enchantment, Illusion, and Necromancy. I'm going to close that down. Starting stats were max Charisma on a Sun Elf. I think only starts at 18. All my level points went up into this. And it's what? I mean, it's at 80. Okay, so if you started with a higher Charisma-based character, like the Drow, you could get some more out of this. Probably be 82. Maybe, I don't know. If I invested more points into other things, could probably get a little higher. But I'm happy so far. Base intelligence was a 10, which wasn't that important. The spells that I'm using from the wizard side would be based on the intelligence modifier, not the charisma modifier. But they're not really damaging spells. It's mostly just things like jump and blur and whatever. Con, I believe I maxed it out. Another drawback of the Sun Elf, you can only start with a 16 base constitution. Dex, 8. Strength, 8. Wisdom. What did I do? Because maybe I was going to burst. I put this up to 12 and let it go. We'll look at that cleric tree. The Divine Disciple. Warlock trees are expensive. I didn't get to invest in here. You could get more light damage out of here, or negative energy damage if you wanted to. This was part of my original idea. Cool thing with Divine Disciple is they also get a spell penetration thing up here. That's 6 points right there to max that out. Wow, it's expensive too. Spell criticals? I mean, won't let me click on it to show. It would have helped to boost the chaotic damage from the Soul Eater tree. Okay. So here we are. What is it? My standing spell power. This is with ship buffs. And nothing else right now. It's showing negative at 720, light at 646. Force is coming in at 406. Spell critical chance. My negative is at 43. My light is down. It's only a 14. Actually, I have higher elemental types right now in terms of the actual chance of it critting. The spell crit multipliers, however, are pretty awesome. Base. Light's at 104. Negative at 89. Positive is actually up there at 94. Force is at 79, which is the lowest out of everything. That's a base. And what had a guildie asking how the heck I got that thing up there. We'll go over that in a minute. Feats. Your epic feats. I got both epic spell power light and epic spell power negative out of here. And these are some of the feats that come later, I think after, what, 20, level 24 or something. The legendary feat is the Scion of Celestia, which is actually for evocation spells, and +2 to the DCs of other spells. You get positive light and alignment spell power, +20 universal spell power, 15% crit damage with positive light and alignment spells. So that's not even on the negative side. There's nothing in there to boost any of the negative damage at all. Not using epic defensive fighting, of course. Can't do that on this build. Uh, Epic Eldritch Blast. This gives you more dice on your blasting with your hand. Pew, pew, pew. Intensify and Wellspring of Power. There are no real cleric feats. I didn't even load Turn Undead for the cleric. Of course, there's only one level of cleric on here. The spontaneous casting, I do have loaded. That's over here in case I gotta help somebody who's living. Or myself. Meta magics are huge. Quicken, maximize, heighten, extend, enlarge, empower. Magical training. Only mental toughness got taken. So I don't have those maxed out. You get more spell crit chance out of these, like 1% per thing that you take. Not enough feats. The Warlock feats are as is. I mean, these are all granted. The Eldritch Blast focused. I only have it on slotted over here just in case I take off chain where I have to, like in VOD. When the Orthons pop, it's just way too much aggro on this. There's nothing else in here that you don't get. Like, you get the Death Aura granted, I think, at 14. So they get their own special one greater Death Aura, like an SLA. It's super cheap. They just add it to your spell book. What's the cost on this? It doesn't even say. It's like free. I have this extended and heightened. Both of them. The other one's a spell. So I think that's going to be all of the feats. Now, no, I'm wrong. Hold on. The heroic feats, if I can find them. There we go. The heroic feats that I did take is the Arcane Initiate from Wizard, past life 3 times. And I'm not sure if it's +1 to the DCs of spells you cast ×3 or it's just a +1. I don't know. But I did take the Force Missile Shooter. That doesn't make sense. Does it say passive on there? See, this might be a way to get another feat in there. Well, this video isn't about that though. And then I did take Completionist as well for heroic. So that's 2 feats right there that if you don't have access to them, you could use for other things, other meta magics or whatever you wanted. You know, it's like, so I feel like on some builds you have to be careful of, even if you want to take that. I always go to the side of getting a higher main stat than worrying about whatever else it is. Every 2 points of this charisma score that I get up is one more to any DC. So that's just my thinking. You can run it how you want. Um, what are we headed to here? Epic Destinies? Mm, yeah. Okay. Epic Destiny trees like this. 49 in Draconic. And I'm in that Attune the Arcane Epic Destiny mantle. The dragon type is negative. Now, one of these moves in here on the dragon breath, you're breathing negative energy at mobs. 20 plus the highest ability mod, plus necromancy bonuses, plus breath weapon bonuses to get the DC up. Okay. Where's my dragon breath? Oh, can't find it. It's not showing me what my DC is on it right now, but if I cast it, it's casting at caster level 35. Alright, well, one of these moves in here, on the Shadow Dragon Breath, your breath attack gets upgraded. Daunting Roar is a 25% chance to paralyze enemies caught within them with fear for 6 seconds and no save. Okay. One of them makes it. There it is. The Gaping Maw is your Dragon Breath Epic Strike is modified to deal double its damage. Dragon Form is Dragon Form. That ain't nothing. Let's see here. So I don't know if that's supposed to be like a double strike. Dragon Form's another way to get out of jail free. Like, what's this? Your Eldritch, your Electric Surge and everything. Nyax Biting Cold and Burning Blood Intervention and Venom Concentration spells now stack 2 additional times. That's the SLA clicky, Burning Blood, which is actually fire and acid damage. 2 types that I'm not even really into all that much. And I'm just trying to see here if there was one more thing that gives... that gives more boost to that Dragon Breath attack. If it's just counting it as Gaping Maw is a double damage, like a double strike. And I don't understand that on the picture that I posted for you guys. It must be listed as a double strike. I don't know. Pull from the Wellspring is only adding to your Wellspring of Power's temporary spell points. Okay, this is what probably did it. Inevitable. You attune the Arcane Destiny Mantle. Now instead, your attune the Arcane Destiny Mantle now instead applies a damage over time effect that deals its full damage 3 additional times after application, for a total of 4 ticks of damage beyond the first application. Which means those 280,000 point hits were going to tick 2 more times. Except Rudis didn't have any hit points left. That's what did it. Inevitable. How I got that first hit? It's probably... Alright. 5 pieces of the Ender set. is giving me some bonus to my spell power, crit multiplier base. If I hover over that right now, all the bases are at 79, and I know there's like plus 45 that's coming off of the Epic Destiny mantle or Epic Destiny feat, and 30 from that warlock tree to get that bottom tier of this spell critical multiplier higher. The rest of that percentage is from this ender set. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it off and then take a look at my spell power to see what happens. You see, the base dropped to 50. So it's actually at 50, not 45% spell critical multiplier base. So what am I getting out of that? 29% bonus legendary to spell critical multiplier for all spells. Every spell type. Repair even. We'll put that back on. Wait, first we'll look at what our hit points are at, and then we'll put that back on. So we're at 1602. And now we'll know what our hit point bonus is as well. Legendary Green Seal Belt. Gloves. Booties. And the helm. So I'm getting an extra 240 hit points off of that as well. Whatever percentage bonus that is legendary. That ain't... It must be coming off of your base hit points too. But it's tough to figure that out. But you'll see that spell critical multiplier jumps back up to 79. So there's a 29% bonus to your spell critical multiplier on that set. As part of the old tactics, usually before I cast those big spells, I am going to hit the Reveler's Regalia. It's a 25% festive bonus to spell critical damage. And then we'll look and we'll watch that number go up. I'm picking the lowest one, which is a 79 right now, and just adding on all of the clickies during the combat phase. So the reason why I'm wearing the Esoteric Initiate set is because it's a quick change. And now I look at it with both those on, my spell crit multipliers go up to a base of 124. And then negatives at 134. Light is at 149. That's when you want to drop bombs, right there during that window. That's when you want to use your breath attack. Even though your spell power didn't really change that much, negative went up to 870. Light went up to 796 with those two clickies. Spell crit chance on light still stayed the same. It's only at 14. Negative is only 43, not even quite half on the chance to crit. So there you go. That's tactics right there for you. Legendary Curse Keeper set is what I'm using. I'm using that orb. This falls from the House J chain. It's the Cursed Skull, giving me Insightful Nullification, Void Lore 21%, Necromancy Focus 5, Healing Amp. But it also has this effect down on the bottom where whenever I cast a negative or poison spell, you have a chance to apply a stack of Legendary Dreadful Curse. It's a chance. It doesn't happen all the time. It reduces the enemy's fortitude by 1. Could stack up to 6 times. It's a chance. It doesn't always happen, but since you're trying to do insta-kills with which are based on their fortitude saves. If you look at Circle of Death, it says right on there, save 84 fortitude. Whale of Banshee's at 84. Same thing, says fortitude. It's a fort save. All of these things help to work in conjunction to lower that for them. Crushing Despair is an enchantment spell. It's still coming in at 79. That's a will save, but it'll lower their saves by -2 if it does work. And Hypnotism too. I mean, these old standards only a 54 on the saves, but its creatures targeted by this is a -3 to will saves for the next 8 seconds. Not all saves. So I keep those loaded here too, just for fun. And you end up wearing 4 sets again. The Legendary Aether Band, Order's Garb, and Attunement's Gaze. This is part of the Esoteric Initiate set. That's 3 here. The Ender set is the second set. Legendary Curse Keeper set is the Orb and the Trinket. That's the third. And the fourth is both these 2 rings from the House C raids. I took Frost and Acid. It's the Chained Elemental set. Now, I don't even need the bonuses down at the bottom really for spell power or for artifact bonus to fire, cold, acid, and electric spell crit chance, except for that Burning Blood SLA that I have, which is fire and acid, and for their internal effects. But they're giving me the bonus to acid and corrosion on the ring. Okay? So, you know, there's some things in here that are, it's like, yeah, whatever, that it's not really my primary spell type, but still it helps on their individual things. Same thing with the Bound Elemental Ring of Frost. It has the water attunement on there, which is giving you a chance to inflict 10 stacks of cold damage over time. Which I like this. I like, you know, all the random effects that pop off. Primary weapon with the Sentient is the Bitter Star for the Frostbite effect and Royalty's Frigid Response. Another chance to just freeze when I chain. So I went over this stacking sort of all of the secondary and tertiary bonuses or effects that happen on your weapons when you play the game on an earlier video. You know, it's super fun. The only bad part, I guess, so far is when I chain, I get this tremendous aggro. Like I said, I've been switching off then and being nice on the Eldritch Blast focus just to keep myself alive. Sometimes tanks aren't that, you know, they're kind of new to the game, so they don't really run around and get all the Orthon's aggro right away. They might just be trying to focus on the boss. You know, it's hard to fight in the Pels of the world.
Fisherfolk and sailors come
and
to
the other bad
temple,
part is because I'm doing
the god of the sea.
Negative damage and chaotic is obviously I heal undead. So you got to overcome it then on your other damage type, or flip off that. No, there's no way to change it back. You can't. Once you are negative, you are negative. So that's always fun though. People get mad. See that? It just froze them on the chain effect. And then I'll just hit once. I won't even, this is just clicking with basic Eldritch attack. That's super fun. That doesn't always work though when you're doing High Reaper, but still, I mean, it just makes this game easy. The only thing that killed him right there was the death auras. I just have one on right now. I'll just let it tick on him. I didn't even attack anything. Here's the wargs. They immediately get hit by the death auras. I'm not even doing anything, just hanging out. So now I'll fire up the second one. That's just a lesser death aura. And we have a rare up. Then you see on the web that the damage is coming up from those rings. It's acid. That's all I did so far in my death auras. And the death auras froze them. That wasn't even an interset or anything going off. It's just the death aura made that clicky go. Did I get it? No. And we got a mimic. Now what? Let's blast. Let's do some chaining. That gets even more fun. A lot of different ways to play this build. Jeez, come on. Where are you guys? So I'll just hit once and chain. And then froze some people again.
Mine. Oh, mine.
That's Bitter Star. Pretty crazy.
No one has used the warehouses.
I didn't even
Trappers
do a
Cove
breath
for
attack.
years.
I didn't even do the
Officially,
little
rumor has
negative
it
circle.
that some of the local smugglers use the shacks as a
Just do
rendezvous
that.
point under cover of night.
Delicious.
One
It's
blast.
hard to eat
You see
just
the chaotic damage coming up? Oh, he doesn't have enough hit points to hang. How about this? Breath attack? Casting at what? There's 10 grand. 31.7 on Smuggler Lookout negative. Did not use any clickies while String of Power. I already used my clicky up there for the terms of the video. Didn't use anything else. Have a nice day, everybody. That's pretty awesome fun. I hope you like it.